Yes. Welcome to episode 34 of TerrorVision Horror Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and joining me on the meat wagon is my co-host, Jennifer, the Dream Warrior Strand.
Toot toot.
The toot toot.
I was not even going to do it today.
Yeah, but I paused. I needed that
I know.
toot toot.
Of course you did.
Together we are two people with a love of horror and feel the burn of our obsolete Blockbuster memberships. So today's fun fact about myself is, straight into the fun facts, is that I have eaten a tarantula.
That is fascinating. What did it taste like?
Well, it tasted not much like anything. I did it when I was in Vietnam, and I went to Tarantula Village.
That's amazing.
Which is, I'm pretty sure, is a tourist trap. But
I'd say so.
But apparently it's a very, very, very poor village, as a lot of people are. No, I was in Cambodia, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Not Vietnam.
You had a holiday in Cambodia.
I did, I know. It came up on my iPod as I was in a boat, like just randomly that song, and I was like, this is weird. Hope there's no, heads on a stake or anything like the song implies.
It's fine.
Anyhow, yeah, I went to Tarantula Village, and apparently they're so poor, but they're like, just how their terrain of their village is like set out. It's like there's heaps of tarantulas everywhere, and so they just like, because like I said, why do you eat tarantulas? And they're like, because that's all there is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like a dick.
I mean, tarantulas are huge.
These were big, like they were bigger than my ham, but they did deep fry them in like chili oil. So they shrunk down quite small because, you put anything, you deep fry anything and it shrinks.
Well, spiders naturally curl up.
Yeah, it did all that. Like it was like a kind of a crunchy, like, your fist kind of thing. And then, you click, it was so like deep fried that, you pull a leg off and it like breaks off, and it just like it was just kind of chilly and crunchy, kind of like, deep fried stuff and stuff like that. It was okay. I didn't eat all of it. Didn't eat its face. Left that.
That's where you stop. That was your line.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. There was like, they sell, there's like carts there of dudes selling like, just like, dudes pulling wooden carts along, and they've just like got sections of just bugs that you eat. And there's like, black scorpions like as big as your hand on there that people are just eating. I didn't have any of them because I was still under the belief that like they don't eat them. It's just a tourist thing that's evolved, and they're like, why would we eat that?
Well, that's the thing. The tourists, they come in, they're paying big bucks for an experience. And
a bug.
That experience is eating a bug. So they're actually side hustling. They're making all this money to bring in, like, actual food.
Yeah. So I didn't eat that. I did eat the tarantula because I was like, I'm at Tarantula Village. I was already half sick anyway because I was like,
just the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. I was like, I think on the way to Bug Village, my wife actually had to stop the bus and vomit like outside because we were just like, because you just can't stay well in that country.
That's
you just have to eat like, a lettuce leaf that has a bit of water on it, and you're fucked. And, we spent, like, 2 days, like, so sick, hallucinating in our hotel rooms, like, thinking we're going to die. Tried to get, an ambulance.
Yeah.
Tried to get a doctor, like, went down, just couldn't communicate, and just went back up and just waited it out. It was one of the worst moments of my life. It was pretty full on. That wasn't from the tarantula, though. But it might have been.
It might have been. You never know.
No, we pretty much know it was just from a salad. Anyhow, what's your fun fact about yourself that the public is yearning to know about?
Yearning? Yeah, well, I haven't eaten a tarantula. I was just going to jump into the first album I ever bought.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, mine, I just realised I did 2 food facts in a row, so I wish I'd done something different.
No, food facts are great. We love food. So the first album I ever bought was the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack on cassette.
Can I just stop you there? You mean Romeo plus Juliet?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Baz Luhrmann.
Old Baz.
Leonardo DiCaprio in his, like, peak Leonardo DiCaprio phase.
And then Carey Matheson.
Like, who?
That's the actress, isn't it, from Out of Homeland?
No, that's Claire Danes.
Wasn't she in it?
No.
Isn't she the lady in Juliet? She's Claire Danes?
Claire Danes, yeah.
Yeah,
is that the character's name?
Yeah,
I
that's her name.
Watch Homeland. I don't know what's going on.
Apparently, DiCaprio was caught saying like that he didn't like kissing her in the kissing scenes because he considered that she wasn't pretty enough for him to actually kiss in real life.
Well, he can go fuck himself.
No.
Oh yeah, look at him now.
He's like a little man child with a tiny face, and Claire Danes looks like this like crazy rad woman. Like,
He's got like a dad, not that there's anything wrong with dad bods, but he's got like a dad bod. He's still got his baby cherub face, but he's just getting rounder and his hairline's just... Fuck you, Leonardo DiCaprio.
you don't see any memes about Claire Danes, but you see plenty about DiCaprio.
Yeah, this
He's
is
actually
true.
all the memes. So your first soundtrack on cassette. I can't remember my first soundtrack on cassette. Or do I? And I'm going back.
Thinking.
For Christmas, I got the earliest tape I can remember is I got the "I'm Too Sexy" by Right Said Fred single.
Oh, yeah, the single. That is amazing.
The first CD I ever bought, I went halves with my neighbour because you know had that. That's
gonna go well.
It was the Ren and Stimpy CD with like all the
fuck
songs,
yeah.
like like Happy Happy Joy Joy, the
Yeah.
Log Song, and all stuff like that.
That's amazing.
We didn't have a Radioactive Man friendship
No, I was
breakdown,
gonna say, like,
but it was close.
I can't remember the first CD I actually bought at all, or the first like album.
So this is the first. Now, do you own Romeo plus Juliet on vinyl?
I don't, because it's not available on vinyl,
Oh,
as far as I'm aware. But I don't think I would add it to my collection.
why not?
Music.
What was on there? What were some of the hits?
Oh well, the Cardigans, they're "Loveful."
That's good.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Can't remember.
I can't even fucking remember. It's a good soundtrack. It's like good to just stick on now.
One of my favorite albums is a soundtrack, which is like the Natural Born Killers soundtrack. I think it's got so many banger sweet hits on it, and it goes from like Dylan to like L7 to Nine Inch Nails, to, all over the shop, and it's just a roller coaster ride of emotions.
Oh. Well, I mean, look, I know that Tarantino didn't direct it, but it's still technically under the Tarantino
No, it's not.
foot fetish.
Nah, man, that's Oliver Stone. That's hard Oliver Stone.
Oh, no, 100%. But that soundtrack, that's got some Tarantino dick work in it.
You reckon it has?
I reckon it does.
He did, because he didn't like that film, eh?
Yeah.
He, because Oliver Stone took... I don't know what Tarantino... I've never read the original script. I don't know what his vibe he was going for, but he obviously wasn't going for that, attack on consumerism and society and what we consider as normal and stuff like that they did in that. And he probably didn't expect Oliver Stone to use every single film stock known to man and technique.
Probably not. But I mean, Tarantino soundtracks are always good. I will give him that. They're always good.
They're always interesting. I've learned a lot of tracks that I probably wouldn't have listened to. Starting with the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. There's a lot of songs in that I would never listen to without that. That's what soundtracks do.
Yeah.
Like my the Darjeeling Limited.
Yes.
Is one of my favorite soundtracks, and I'm quite partial now to indie music, which is such a different vibe.
No, that's a very different vibe.
It has a whole musical scale and keys that we don't even have, and I'm fine with it. It's like
go with it. I was listening to Russian polka turbo metal the other day. Don't know how I managed to stumble across that gem of a sound playlist.
What makes it turbo? Is it faster than normal?
It is. Well, because it's kind of like polka music, but metal.
In that way, it's just a combination of polka and metal. Just the amalgamation of both of them just creates turbo.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
but it's very much like Go-Go Bordello.
Oh, I do like Go-Go Bordello.
Dang.
Apart from that time I bought their album and it was in Spanish. When I thought I was buying... the Spanish version was green and the English version was a red cover. And I didn't notice. And I was kind of shattered because it was back in the time, buying a CD was a big thing and I hadn't got there. So I just had to learn Shoot the Moon and everything in Spanish.
Yep.
And now, let's do the news.
Yeah.
Yes, every week me and Jen take you through the horror news you need to know about. Welcome to Horror News!
Nice.
Thank you. What's been happening in the world of news and/or horror?
Okay, so David Gordon Green reportedly in talks to direct the Exorcist sequel for Blumhouse / Morgan Creek.
Morgan Creek. Morgan Creek is what we're working out before. It's just a distribution company.
Yeah. So
this is Blumhouse. We could have pulled stop.
We'll leave it there.
So David Gordon Green, he's the dude who directed Halloween. Did he direct it?
Yeah, I think he. Yes.
We'll talk about the remake one recently.
Yeah. So it looks like. So I'm not sure if we're going to forget all the other Exorcist sequels that have happened.
Yeah, we must be, because this is one this is a sequel.
Yeah.
So therefore, you just forget them.
Yes.
Even though you've said that to me that Exorcist 2 has a really good death in it.
It does.
Maybe they'll just redo that death.
I would hope so. I think there's so much they could do, and I would very much like to see Linda Blair make a cameo in it.
No, I reckon I've said that I didn't want, earlier on in other episodes, I didn't want an Exorcist remake, but I am quite partial to an Exorcist sequel remake, because like nothing after that. It's just such a scary concept, and you have to pull it back. Otherwise, it's going to seem cheesy. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to instill the amount of fear that film originally made people back then, now? What are you going to do?
I don't think you can. You cannot generate that same level.
Hereditary did.
Hereditary. Fuck yes, Hereditary.
Like, it needs that hereditary, like that what are they called?
A24.
A24 vibe to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Blumhouse does good things, but they're hit and miss.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I can't think of any misses. The Craft.
Was that Blumhouse? I can't. Ma was a big one. It had Octavia Spencer in it, who is an Oscar award-winning actress, and it was just really sad, but not in a like upsetting way. It was just like pathetic kind of woman, and it missed. It took a big swing and it swung so hard that it spun around and fell.
You know, because you don't like it, there's a group of people out there that fucking love that film.
That's great. If you love it, like, good on you.
Because what did we watch recently? Relic? Remember that?
Yes.
I've been reading more and more about that film, and the more I read about it, the more I really want to revisit it. I'm like,
I love a revisit.
And because I remember the last scene of that was so shocking, kind of weird, shocking, and that like with a bit more context now, it's weird that you need though to have the context to go into the film to appreciate it. Like, where back again with Hereditary, it's all there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to like read a thesis on it afterwards to know. Like, my mind just like, even if it didn't understand every scene, it went like, this is unbelievably good.
Yeah.
And then I really hated Midsommar, so I think Midsommar really missed the mark. Anyhow,
That's fair. So yeah, we've not seen The Exorcist on the big screen since 2005's release of Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, which I haven't watched at all. I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't even known that was a prequel to The Exorcist.
No, me neither. And then there was a short-lived TV series on Fox, which I never watched either. I think it was like, oh, I'm going to watch that. I don't have Fox. I'm not going to watch that.
No, that's fine. As we've said it once, we've said it twice. Usually TV versions of horror films don't work very well because it's just grabbing a piece of chewy gum and stretching it out. Like, you know, you're supposed to chew it in your mouth. It's supposed to be small and great, but you pull it out and you stretch it and it breaks.
And then you've got gum everywhere.
And you've got a long, you got it all over you. You're an idiot.
So, yeah, not a lot of information regarding this for now, but it's still pretty exciting to see that there is possibility. I'm going to remain on the fence.
Oh, I reckon there is a possibility it's going to be right. But I don't know, man. Like, Blumhouse seems to do with their IP that they create, their new IPs, I think they do really well with. Like, you know, like, because you're not expecting anything and you're pleasantly surprised a lot of the time. That's what you are with Blumhouse. You're pleasantly surprised a lot of the time. Yeah. But if you go in expecting it's going to be the best thing, it usually isn't.
That is kind of like, that is Blumhouse's aesthetic, I feel. You sort of...
pleasantly surprised.
That is, because you're like, oh, Blumhouse. Like, I saw this Blumhouse film, it wasn't that good. But then I saw this other Blumhouse film and it was really good. So you sort of go into every one of their films...
not knowing.
Feeling like, man, my expectations are pretty, like... mediocre.
That's what I do for every Marvel film.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I enjoy it a lot more.
Oh. Yeah, I don't... Yeah. I nothing Marvel films. They're fine. I watch them.
They're okay.
They're okay.
Anyhow, I'm looking forward. I'll watch this.
Yeah. Oh, definitely if I can watch it, but yeah.
It's weird, though, like, how many years later doing a sequel for something without remaking the first one. But I did say, but maybe they're on the same idea as me. Like, you can't remake The Exorcist because it's too good.
Well, that's true. There are reasons certain films have not been remade. So you notice that, say, with The Wizard of Oz, that hasn't been remade, but they've done sequels, or they've done...
Return to Oz? The Wiz?
Oh, fucking Return to Oz ruining childhood since 1988.
TikTok. Didn't they... Because, like, recently, like, didn't they insert new scenes into the original Exorcist? Is that something that happened in my mind?
I think they did.
Like her running down the stairs upside down? That wasn't...
spider walk. That wasn't in the original one, no.
But was that in... Did they film that originally and didn't put it in? They found it and reconditioned it?
Quite
or
possibly.
Is it just, like, completely new footage? Like...
I'd have to look into that.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I don't know, like... But, because, like, even that was a bit sacrilegious. I did enjoy that scene where she runs down the stairs upside down.
Yeah, it's really well done. Very good.
But, yeah. I wonder how they did that. Maybe made her walk up the stairs like that and then...
Well, she goes down pretty fast.
Yes, what I mean. Like, they go up slowly and then reverse it. Cause,
I would have just fallen down. I couldn't... I can't bend like that at all.
You'd put them on a pulley and then green screen it out. If you do it today. But, But I reckon it would look too weird.
Yeah.
She should just walk down normally. It would have been heaps easier. And what's your next story?
Such a drama queen she is. Okay, so now, we are in the era of what is now being referred to as the pandemic thriller. So we're seeing a lot of...
we talked about this earlier, that there's going to be a new genre coming out.
Yes. So there's all these TV shows, like I think the new Stand series has started or is available now. Which people are interested. But there's pandemic horror and all this stuff coming out of the woodwork. So John Malkovich and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers are leading the cast of a new film, The Survivalist.
Who's Jonathan Rhys-Meyers? Do you know who he is?
I know him best from Velvet Goldmine.
Oh, okay.
But I think he was in the Tudors or something. The Tudors. He's a pretty guy. He's a pretty boy.
John Malkovich is a weird actor, eh? He doesn't make sense to me. And ever since he did Being John Malkovich, I've never understood him at all.
I love him.
Was he in Con Air?
I think he was.
Is a sadistic killer guy?
Quite possibly. He does good really well. He does bad very well. He's just this...
He's got a wide scope.
He does have a way. I like listening. He's one of these people that I like to listen to them speak.
Yeah.
Kind of like James Spader.
He reminds me of like an Arrested Development character or something all the time whenever he's on screen. I'm like, I don't really understand him. Like, am I supposed to understand you? But yeah. What? So pandemic horror, yeah.
Yeah, so it takes place a year and a half after the fall of civilization from a virus outbreak. A former FBI agent, played by Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, is forced to protect a young woman who is obviously immune to the disease from a dangerous gang hunting her, led by Karen.
Lost to us.
Fucking literally any film now. So plays this psychopath who believes he's going to use her to save the world. I think Liz was watching a film the other day called Doomsday, which had the exact same plot line, except it was one of those like C-grade low budget.
I tried to watch Doomsday.
Oh, really?
I turned it off.
Yeah. It was like it was trying to be...
It has like the O's that are crosses in it. And
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
It was trying to be the underworld kind of movie, like, sexy brunette with cape, jacket. I don't know.
This was missing Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was just hot garbage.
It was a Kesha, was it?
It was a Kesha, yes, it was. So, yeah, that's all we've got information-wise. I think there's an original script. That's about it.
Because we've been through our pandemic genre, as I said before, where we nailed it down into, like, we were talking about like the feelings of the new fear, like the new fear of like isolation, being by yourself, fearing your fellow man, fearing your friends. Your friends potentially could kill you. They need to encapsulate that feeling into these new things. So, and I reckon a lot of them are going to hit and miss it. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, treat it as like a zombie pandemic, which no one cares about anymore. Yeah. Everyone's like, we're not scared of zombies. Like, we're scared of invisible viruses and our friends.
I'm scared of my neighbor.
I'm scared of pizza shops and that lady that just ran out of the what was it, the hotel this week. He just like got out.
What hotel was that?
I'm not sure, but yeah, she put up online that she, I'm not gonna leave. She left and like.
What day was that? Was that on Boxing Day?
Don't know. It was great.
Because I was coming out of the car park on Boxing Day.
It wasn't in Adelaide.
Oh, it wasn't in Adelaide?
No.
Oh, that's
like
okay.
Brisbane or something.
Because they had one of the
Wales.
hotels like quarantined off, like barricaded by cops, and there was like 10 police officers outside, and then people in hazmat suits coming
maybe it was.
I'm like...
Oh, no, there's been some Adelaide breakouts as well. Breakouts. Anyhow, that's the fear we live in now. So to encapsulate into a film, you would really get people's attention, you know what I mean? Like, just to somehow package that into fear. It's a real hard. It's a sit down that you'd have to round table at a whole bunch of good writers to how to actually do that, because it is a new genre. Mm-hmm. It's out there. I won't watch them. Yeah. I never watched pandemic stuff as it was. Like, I never played the board game like at all.
No. There's certain things that I just don't enjoy watching, and I think civilization crumbling films are one of those films. That genre for me just doesn't.
I don't mind post-apocalyptic. Don't get me wrong.
I like
Turbo Kids.
Turbo Kids fucking awesome. Post-apocalyptic is fine. Just I don't want to watch the breakdown.
I often think, have you seen The Road or heard of The Road?
Is that the one with that guy and he does the thing?
It's just because it's like a what's the guy's name? It's a novel, McCartney or something like that. Which is like, it's just post-apocalyptic. I'm trying to think in the movie, and it's just a man.
Oh, it's with Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, and his son, and the world has fucking ended, and they're like the only ones, and they're just traveling along this road with a trolley, and that's the film. And there's a scene in it where, like, the kid has never lived not like this. So he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
And, like, it's hard, they've got a gun with one bullet. That's all they've got. Like, there's no food, and it's about them surviving, and it's cold, and they're just trying to keep warm, and it's so full on. And, like, the book is really good because it's written in, just little snippets of his thoughts and stuff like that.
Yep, okay.
I think it's the same guy that wrote The Death Specialist, which was one of my favourite books of all times, which is quite similar. And and there's a scene in it where they find it's like the ultimate scavenging film. They find like a Coke machine, and there's one can they like fully get out, and the kid doesn't even know what it has, never tasted it, like, and it's just the dad like knowing what it is and like just opening it up and just like giving it to his kid as like, this is something.
And then his kid starts running around because he's now full of sugar.
I think he like vomits. I think they find like. Yeah, they find like a can of fruit and they eat it and they just vomit straight away because their body's not used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just there's a real, and it's not a horror film, but it kind of is.
Yeah, films like that, I can't do downer films in that kind of capacity because it wreaks havoc on my brain.
Anyhow,
my brain.
Let's move on to our spoiler cast. Yes, every week Jennifer and I set ourselves a horror movie to watch, and then we go through it scene by scene and spoil the fuck out of it for all you guys. It's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, and director madness. Welcome to the spoiler cast. And this week we are watching... What are we watching?
We are watching Critters 2.
We watched Critters 2.
It's true, we did. Oh boy, did we.
Yeah, from 1988. We have a rating system, which Jen will now go through.
Oh my god, yes. So, for those of you playing at home, we've got A, awesome, everybody should watch. B is our beer and chicken wing group movie. F is for fun and dumb. C is a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. G is good for its time but has not held up. We've got the J, Jen special, the D, Dan special. We've got a W, which is whatever, so off my radar. We've got the Kesha, which is the low-budget hot mess. And we've got the McConaughey, which is the fucking fucked.
The shittest of the shit.
The shit.
Yeah. So, which is not what today's film was.
Not even a little bit.
No, Critters 2. So, I chose Critters 2 because I watched Critters 1 recently. This is the movie I chose last week. So, yeah. What are its stats?
All right. So, Critters 2. Directed by Mick Garris. We know most of, Mick Garris has done Sleepwalkers. He's done a couple of episodes of the original The Stand series. Nightmare Cinema. He did Psycho 4. He did a couple of episodes of The Shining TV series as well.
Really... a lot of telly movies in there.
He does, but he's actually a big name in horror.
Oh.
He's one of the big names, which is great. So yeah, directed by him. It's also written by David Twohy and Mick Garris, starring Terrence Mann, Scott Grimes, who is a bit of a ginger and best known as the voice of Steve in American Dad, and Cynthia Garris,
who has a cat a face like a cat.
Does she?
You think she had a mush little...
She was always squinting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or looking scared.
Either way. I had a budget of $4 million.
Which is nothing.
Which is nothing. And the box office was a measly 3.8 million.
I'm going to say that it cut even because you would have had sales of DVDs and stuff after that. So
yeah.
this is a cut even film.
Yeah.
Walk away. We did it. We got nothing.
Yeah.
But we lost nothing.
It's fine.
So walk away.
Yeah.
So this is the second film, but there are 6 Critters films, which I didn't realize until I researched it.
So many.
I think last year they did Critters Attack.
Yeah, Critters Attack.
Which was very not nice. That was number 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that number 5 is the highest rated on IMDb.
That is very
interesting. Which is called Critters Bounty Hunters, which I may have to look at because I haven't seen that one.
Yep.
I remember Critters 3 and maybe Critters 4. I can't quite remember. I didn't know. I thought there was only 4 of them, and then I was like, what?
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And let's get into it. So
yes.
It starts. The film starts. And it just with the credit sequence.
No, yeah, that's very okay.
Black screen,
In it.
Blue writing, which pretty much was the opening. It's the same as Aliens, if I remember correctly. It's just black with that.
Very whimsical music as well.
Yeah, it was more upbeat music than Aliens. It was just like or whatever it was. Depressing as fuck. Yeah, so that's all it is. I was like, yep, fair enough.
That's great.
Fair enough.
Sorted.
Critters. I think I can't remember what the title was.
Critters 2.
Yeah, it just comes up.
Nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
So we open into an alien world.
Bit of a swamp forest.
We've got dry ice ponds.
Yeah, I'm hearing some bubbling in the background. Yeah.
Foresty. Everything looks wet, dark, cave-like. We just assume it's an alien planet because there's dry ice on the ground. Which I'm like, fair enough.
Yep.
We see a guy with a big gun and a gas mask. He's cruising, looking through. He's got kind of a gas mask and some black clothes. You don't know who he is. He's
Yep.
He's got a big gun. There's some big erection guns in this movie.
Yes, very phallic. Yes.
He gets spooked.
Yep. He hears some growling off in the distance, and he's just like, "Fuck, I'm out of here."
He runs. He runs through the forest, and then he falls. He's running. He's lost his nerve. He runs,
he's
and
wearing a
suddenly we hear this noise, and this big old slug vagina attacks him. That's the only thing I could put it down to. It's like a big, long slug face huggery.
Yep.
Which was just a rubber monster that was thrown onto him.
But that's fine.
I was down with it. Falls onto him. Then what happens?
All right. So as it falls on him, we think he's doomed. Bam. Spider shot. Kind of blown up. This vagina thing, it's been blown away. And
the vagina got blown away.
by a secondary. So there's a secondary
And
person.
the best part of this shot, cutting to this guy, so there's another man in a gas mask, and he just fired his gun, and the guns protrude out like erections, and then woo, come back in, reload.
Well, he is spent.
He's so he's blown off. Both guys go back to the ship. They drag the vagina monster with them.
Yep. I loved secondary hunter's hair as well. He pulls off his mask on the planet, and we just see this glorious 80s moppy, mullety kind of hairstyle. So beautiful. Obviously we're there's a spaceship. Yeah. Oh no.
Where we go into the spaceship,
Yes.
The bounty hunter sits down, pulls off his mask, and we see what you just described. Who is the bounty hunter from the first one? He and the bounty hunters in this world. It really relies on you seeing the first film.
Yes.
This film a lot. He was in the first one as his name is Ugg.
Ugg.
They are transforming bounty hunters. They start off with no face, and then they go to a planet and they take a form of something that helps them on their bounty hunt. And in Critters, that was a poster on the wall of a glam rock band. So he became, I think he actually is the actor, the guy who is in that band.
Oh, even better.
So and then we see him from the first movie, and then we're followed. And then the next guy takes off his mask, revealing Charlie from the first film, who from the first film was the town drunk. And his only friend was the main kid in the first film, Brad.
Yeah.
So he was like the town drunk. No one took him seriously, but then he like kind of steps up a bit. And he, at the end, because he goes with the bounty hunters because he doesn't
nothing.
fit into our world. And,
Yeah.
But he's still a bumbling fool.
He was quite endearing. So I liked as he was putting, I don't know if you noticed this, but as he was putting the spidery vagina into their freezer.
I loved it. I just love any movies that has like a whole bunch of monsters that they've previously hunted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the heads appeared to be very similar to the Mangalorean, not to be confused with Mandalorian, head from The Fifth Element.
Yeah, the ear guys?
Yeah.
I actually noticed as well in that pile of heads, because it was just a pile of heads,
Yes.
that's like to show that they've got their bounties. There was an alien in there that looked exactly like, I can't remember what they were. They're in the prequel Star Wars films. What's the first prequel called?
The Force Awakens?
No, like the prequel ones with like Ewan McGregor and all that crap.
Oh, the Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
In the opening scene, like the very first scene, there's two aliens which are very stereotypes of Asian people. Do you remember they were like really racially charged?
Oh.
And they're like, I'm not going to do their voices because it's like, they're like in the Trade Federation. One of them was one of their heads exactly as well. And I'm like, what if
interesting.
like they all just got that from the prop department?
Probably.
It's the ones that they go like, there are two Jedis on board. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, we are going to die.
I have not seen that movie.
Yeah, it was a long time. Anyway, one of them looked like that.
Anyway.
It probably wasn't that. I also love, like, they do that kind of also, my favourite other scenes like that in films is, like, Flight of the Navigator, when he opens up and all the other creatures he collected from all the worlds.
Yep.
Favourite scene in that film as a kid. Loved it so much.
Yep.
And the other one is, like, I think it may be, like, the AVP, like, in Predator, or one of the Predators, there's before there was Alien versus Predator, I think in Predator 2, you see the alien skull on the wall as one of his captures. That shit.
Oh, it's nice. It ties everything together as well.
And there's also, we see as well, there is a third bounty hunter in this ship as well, a new character who has not yet transformed and has like the no face vibe happening.
Very Slender Man.
Then we get a hollow call from a giant fucking ball bag.
He did look like a giant testicle, didn't
So we
he?
get a hollow call from obviously their boss, like
Yep.
you know, bounty hunter control, and it's this big puppet alien. He's like, if you can imagine, he's got like ET's body with a gigantic ball bag, shaven ball bag. He looked great.
Yeah.
I was like, you know,
1988, like.
and because he was on hollow call, he looked really good. Like, you couldn't pick that he was a puppet. He spoke English, which was a bit jarring. He's like, how you guys going?
What's going on?
Yeah.
This is some residual krat life on Earth. You just got to go back. Got to go back to Earth.
So the krats are the technical name for critters, which only as I was writing this I realised is critters, just like short.
Just one.
Yeah.
There's a critter.
Because I was like, how do you spell krites? Because I thought mine had a K in it or something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I can
But
see.
yeah, right. And then I was like, oh my god, it's just critters shortened, you idiot.
We all
And that's
have
why they
moments.
called them critters, because they're krites. Yeah. Oh my god, Dan, you're an idiot. And now they tell him,
Yep.
more critters on Earth, you have to go back.
Got to go back.
We fucked up. You didn't get them all. We don't know how long this has been. I think it's been around about 2 years they've been bounty hunting
I'd
now.
say.
So the ship actually does a U-bolt in space. It actually does.
It's out.
And heads back to
Gone
Earth.
back.
Oh, man.
Cut to Earth. Bus driving. Straight back into Grover's Bend.
Grover's Bend. Welcome to Grover's Bend.
But fuck nowhere.
Yeah, which is a real town.
Yeah, it is a real town, yes. So it's a young, we have a young Brad. He's talking talking to the bus driver about the space porcupines.
Yeah, he's heading back into town. You've obviously assumed he's been away. Mm-hmm. He left after the whole critter incident, or the krites.
Yep.
And now he's heading back to town for what? I don't know why he's heading back to town, for Easter.
On his own, without the rest of his family.
He doesn't have his family. Yeah. He did have like a dad and a mother and a sister in the first film, but obviously they left.
Yeah, so they moved to Kansas.
And he's heading back to visit his nana, who still lives at the town.
Yeah.
He's supporting a denim jacket, denim jeans, and an orange mullet.
Canadian tuxedo.
Oh, man, he looks as 80s as you can get. Like, this is late 80s as well. He is basically me in year 7. That is exactly what I used to look like.
Yes.
So I have, except, do you remember those bags that used to get those, what were they called? Like, they're not Hessian bags. They were like, you write on them. They were those, like,
Oh, yeah, the canvas bags.
Bags, and you write, like, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses, and Kill 'Em All.
You put your little Blair Witch logo on there.
Yeah, shit like that. Jay Kennedy's logos and
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, he was just missing that, and he would have been me and had brown hair. Like, exactly me. Like,
that's so cool.
Except I would have had, like, AC/DC patches and shit on my denim jacket and shit
Heck
like
yeah.
that.
Yep.
So then the bus driver, they're talking, and the bus driver basically relays the whole first movie for us.
Yes.
Saying, like, yeah, I heard there were some good aliens. And, so we get the first movie relayed.
You better not be heading on down to that Brown farm.
Yeah, so, he mentions that the Browns, and who is Bradley Brown, which is his name. Bradley Brown, what a name.
He's, like, inconspicuously hiding the name tag on his bag as well.
And then, new scene.
Definitely.
We cut to the town. I've just called him the town badass.
Oh, I called him Metalhead.
Metal. He's not really metal though, because the only thing he's wearing, which is a leather jacket.
Yes.
So we cut to like if you can imagine, he's like the guy from The Blob.
As soon as I saw him, so he plays a character called Lars in the Disney kids film called Heavyweights. So it's basically all the chubbier kids from Mighty Ducks go to fat camp for summer. Ben Stiller's in it. And he plays this German lifeguard kind of guy who's just like a complete...
What, the actor?
Yeah, the actor.
Oh.
And so that's all I could see. And I'm like, they've just put a leather jacket on him.
Yeah, so he's young. He's a teenager. He's blonde. He's quite tallish. He's wearing a leather jacket. He's obviously like Grover's Bend's delinquent.
Yes, and he's got his little driving gloves, his fingerless
he's got
leather
a Jeep.
gloves.
They have a Jeep or some shit?
Yeah, he's got a Jeep playing some heavy metal.
Yeah. And he goes and visits an antique dealer. No,
he takes
an antique.
He goes up to the old abandoned brown farm with a cigar chomping redneck.
Yeah, which I've named the antique dealer. So, and he goes, I got something for you for your shop that you... I don't understand how this transaction works.
No.
Because, like, and so found in the barn. And he reveals some eggs, which, if you'd seen the first movie, are the eggs that are left over from the first film. It shows at the end after the eggs, like, going, like they laugh for some reason. They mention how cold it is in here, in the barn.
So that's kept them, obviously, incubating.
In hibernation.
Yes.
Because they haven't hatched in all this time.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay.
Because Grover's Bend only has one weather condition.
Hot.
No, cold. It's cold in the barn. It's cold is what kept them, because later on they get hatched by heat, remember?
That's right, yeah.
So we've obviously have a barn which has one temperature of cold in it.
Convenient.
And he shows this antique dealer the eggs. And I thought straight away, why would an antique dealer be interested in eggs of an animal?
It's true. I also I like that you are using that term. It is such a loose term because he's more of a junk collector. I feel like it wasn't a nice antique store. It was like a mishmash of a fucking junkyard.
Yeah, it was like a shed. Guy. But his place did say antiques.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's basically a junk collector. He's a drunk junk trader. That's what I'm trying to say.
Say that 10 times fast.
I shan't.
You shan't.
And he's like, so anyhow, he's selling, and then they they kind of just, they do a bit of a, I sell it for, carton of beer.
Case of beer.
Monster Browse. Whatever he called him. So he swaps the eggs for, and I'm not quite sure how this trade worked, considering like the badass didn't own the eggs.
No, he just found them.
Why didn't the dude just go, I'm taking these?
Well, it was maritime law. He found them, he claims it.
So it's like a finder's fee.
Yeah, finders keepers,
Anyhow, cut to Grover's Bend.
Yeah.
The town square, pan out shot.
Very idyllic, quiet American town. The sheriff's out front, feet out, swatting away flies. Families are just, walking around.
It basically has a town square, and that's the town.
That is the town.
Like there's a park in the middle, which is the town square, and then there's shops around it, and that's it.
That's it.
That's all it is, and that's a real town.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. it has like they're putting up a banner like, annual Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
Soon, whenever it was coming up.
Well, hey, look, this ties in because we're a couple of days after Christmas, which means all the Easter eggs are out now.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, hang on. Easter egg hunt?
Yeah.
Critter eggs? What could happen?
This sounds crazy.
And at no point I love that anyone ever breaks open these eggs to see what's inside of them.
Yes.
Like, we'll just give eggs to children of an unknown origin animal.
Well, that's a lot of the time, you'd hollow out the eggs as kids and then you'd paint them so there wouldn't actually be anything in them. No, it'd just be like the shell of an egg.
Mm.
And then, that's it.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, we're introduced to our next main character. We're introduced now to Megan. Megan's young. She's got brown hair. She's around about the same age as our protagonist, Brad.
Convenient.
I think she's a year older or younger. She looked so much older than him. But as the film went on, she started to get the same age, it looked like.
Yeah.
But by the end, I'm like, they do look the same. But at the start, it was like, I thought she was like 5 years older than him.
Yeah.
Because he looked like a tiny little man, but like in the end they were the same type. I didn't know what was going on. Movie magic. And her dad runs the local rag, the local Gazette.
Yes.
And we get some scenes of them, talking about.
Yep.
Like, her dad's in working, she comes into work, she's just like, and there's another lady there working, they're talking about what the next story.
Played by Lynn Shane.
Who's that?
Lynn Shane. She's from the teacher from she's in A Nightmare on Elm Street. She's in Insidious. She's very famous. And she's in these films because she's the sister of is it Robert Shea, who owns the production company that made the film.
It's like Milo Jovovich being in everything because she's married to the director.
Pretty much, yeah. But Lynn Shea is fantastic, and we love her.
Yeah.
So
she was funny, and she plays like, that rural Karen. Yeah. Basically, you know what I mean? She's into everyone's business. I'm going out and look at this. Like, she plays the rural Karen.
Yeah, she does a good job, and I love her. She's fantastic in everything she does.
Then they see, so they're in talking about newspaper things, and then rural Karen sees Brad getting off the bus.
Brad Brown, back in town.
Brad Brown. I've called him Brad here accidentally. Brad Brown. And they're like, look, Brad's back in town.
Like, we need to scrap this. This is big news. Put it in. And the dad's like, nah.
He goes like that. He goes, that town nearly, that critter story nearly tore this town apart.
Yep.
I don't want anything to do with it. Like, so we assume that it went global. This talk of critters, no one believed them. They got panned. So that's what's happened, and that's why the family moved away.
Yep.
No one, and Brad Brown is the black sheep of the town.
The devil, but he's the red sheep because he's a ranger.
He's the rank sheep. Brad. Now we're following Brad.
Yep.
He rocks up and he goes to his Nana's house.
Yep. And Nana owns a daycare centre.
Apparently?
Yeah.
Well, he goes into his Nana's house and there's just a whole bunch of kids in there. And I've written in my notes, there's a bunch of kids at our house for some reason. They never mention it's daycare.
Well, there's a big sign out the front saying daycare centre.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Well, Dan, yeah.
Because they're talking about, she's like, oh, it's snack time. And they're like, can't we have like a Clark bar or something? She's like, no, that stuff is poison.
Yeah, she's all anti-sugar.
Here's some fruit. Nature's sugar.
Yeah, I know, but she's all about carob and stuff as well. So she's a Nana. She runs a lot of the town. The 17 people who are in this town or whatever. There's more than that, actually. There's about 30 or 40 people that live in this town, I reckon. Yeah. And that's that scene. We see some kids eating glue.
Yeah, I didn't have that in my notes. I'm like, this kid's fucking just chowing down on paste.
And so it's just to show that, Brad is there to visit the Nana. That's why he's returned to Golden Blend, whatever the place is called.
Golden Blend.
Grover's Bend.
Yeah.
What happens next?
All right, so we now cut to Metalhead and Cigar Chomper unloading the eggs back at the antique store, junk shop. And the Metalhead's like completely freaked out by the dog. There's a beautiful large dog barking, and he's like, oh, God, no, I'm scared of this dog. They unload the eggs, and that's it.
It's basically a scene just to get the eggs from the barn to the junk shop. And I've written in my notes that the junk dealer looks a bit like a fat Mark Maron. He did.
A little bit, yeah.
He did. Like, he had the moustache and, like, the hair and everything. He just looked like a not as cool Mark Maron.
Yeah.
So that if you need to imagine what he looks like, he's like a slightly overweight, cigar-chomping Mark Maron. Like, with his moustache.
So we get this very small clip, and then it cuts straight to Lin Shay arriving at a trailer.
Rural Karen.
Rural Karen.
She's, you know, she's pursuing the Brad story.
Yeah.
Without, you know, she's gone rogue.
Oh, I love it. She's April O'Neil.
Yeah.
So she arrives at a trailer, and she's talking to Harv.
Harv from the first film.
So he's the ex-sheriff now.
Yep, he was the sheriff in the first film that helped them with their critter problem.
Yep, and she's like, look, Brad Brown's back in town. Fucking can't say that properly.
Brad
Brown. And he's like, we need to, you got to come back. We need your help. He's like, no.
He goes like, I haven't been, like 2 years ago, I haven't been sheriff for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you piece together like, okay, so yeah, because he was massively part of the critter problem. He tried to tell the truth. No one believed him. He got axed as sheriff. He goes, the town voted me out. That's not my fucking problem.
Yep.
You know, he lives in a caravan. He's hit rock bottom. He's a drinker.
He's watching his stories. I think he's watching the Wheel of Fortune.
He's watching his telly stories, his movie cartoons and stuff. Yeah, he doesn't want a bar. He doesn't give a shit.
He just like slams the door and he's like, piss off, rural Karen. Then we cut back to Metalhead and Cigar Chomper. He's like, okay, well, I've unloaded the eggs. Now where's my beer? And he's like, well, that's all I've got. And he's like, that's not the beer we've agreed on. He's like, so in
a Monster Brow.
So instead, it's like,
did you take? I've written in this a big note to myself. The beer was a white can that just said beer down the side.
I didn't even notice
because they used it a couple of times in the film. Like, I'm like, wow,
so good.
Couldn't get it. Like, it actually just has black beer written down sideways and white and nothing else.
Oh,
it's just like the ultimate, you know, Bilo no frills. Franklin's
black and gold,
but it's white and black.
It's like one step.
Don't even have a color.
No,
but nah.
So he's like, "Well, fuck you. I'm gonna take 2 cases of this and some porn because you fucked me over."
Yes, no, not even porn. It's a Playboy.
He takes some Playboys.
It's a Playboy.
Mm-hmm. Takes a couple of Playboys. Payments.
Fat Mark Maron doesn't give a shit.
He's like, take this beer. It's shit beer. It's like,
is it even beer?
This beer is like making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water.
Oh, I remember, what was it? There was something that was where the beer in the movie or cartoon, I can't remember what it was from, but it was just called Yeast and Stuff. It reminded me of that.
I gotta say, I'm not a beer drinker. I'm not a craft beer person. I don't give 2 shits. But I do love the marketing that a lot of these places come up with nowadays for their beers.
Yeah, because I mean they're selling like misery to people. It's alcohol. Like, you have to make it fun in some way. Anyhow,
brings me joy.
That's all done. We cut now to space. To the spaceship, or not?
Wait. There's a small scene.
Oh.
We cut to Metalhead driving off. He's got the beers in the back of the Jeep and the Playboys, and a Playboy goes flying out the back.
Yeah.
Lands in the middle of nowhere.
Critical plot point.
This is important.
It is important. The Playboy is now on the dirt road. It's important. It's like Saw, man. You have to put it all together.
It's true.
It's important. Now we cut to the spaceship. The spaceship has landed on Earth. Mm-hmm. It's come down. It's in the middle of the day. They didn't cloak it or anything.
So Charlie's talking to Ugg, and he's like, "Why is No Face still No Face?" And he's explaining that the reason is he hasn't found something to transform into yet. So you've got to find something that's going to fit the body. If it doesn't fit the body, you can't.
Well, it's not to fit the body. Yeah, it's just like it has to fit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, it has to feel right. So and it's not the name is Lee.
Yes.
I said, why isn't Lee transformed? I don't know if it's L-I or L-E-E or...
L-E.
L-E. Lee.
Lee.
So, Ugg, Lee.
Oh.
Holy shit. Is that what it is?
It's ugly, yeah.
I didn't get that until I just said it. Because I actually couldn't remember Ugg's name till halfway through the film. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I just called him Bounty Hunter because that's what I remember. Ugly. Oh my god, there's so many layers.
It's like an onion.
Peeling them off, like Shrek reference.
So that's all we get out of that reference. It's like them talking about that, and then we cut to the Hungry Heifer.
The Hungry Heifer.
Which had a fantastic jingle that
was the actual the song at the end of the film with the credits as well, which is sung by a country singer.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
I kind of wanted it to be Reba McEntire, but it wasn't, so I'm really sad about that.
Oof.
So Metalhead, who we discover his name is Wesley. Wes. He's come in. He's got beer in hand. He's a little bit tipsy because I'm guessing he's still young and has one beer and he's fucking gone.
It's true. And the hamburger store has like this fucking weird white Pee Wee Herman-esque Steve Urkel Poindexter working there going, hello.
He was the Poindexter from Grease.
Oh, was he?
He was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that was... He's really stepping up in the world.
He's just taking on Poindexter after Poindexter role in movies. He's working there.
Yep.
We have Megan's there as well.
Yep. So Megan's getting a burger and, Wesley, Metalhead, he's just like, what other choice you got? There's no one else in town. You just got to pick me, baby.
He hard hits on her as well. She's off it, though.
Yeah. No, she's like, I'm sorry, I don't get into metalheads. I'm into rangers.
But then Wesley doesn't take no for an answer.
No.
This is the 88s.
Mm-hmm.
That 1 year.
No means no. But he said he does not take no, and he kind of grabs her.
Yeah, I don't know what his plan was.
No, yeah, he had no plan.
In steps Brad.
Good old Brad.
Knight in shining armour. He's like 1 foot shorter than
He's a knight in denim armour.
Than Wesley. Knight in denim armour. I mean, you can't even punch red hair because, it's just like water off a duck's back. You just slide straight off.
That's right. So he steps in and he's like, oh, come on, mate. No. And then immediately gets thrown out of the hungry heifer.
Yeah.
At this point, Megan already pissed off. And so Brad's outside. He's been thrown out. She's like, pulls up in her Jeep and she's like, get in.
Yeah. And then Wesley comes out. He's got his beer in hand, his white beer. This is where I noticed, when he takes a sip. Like in the in the hungry heifer, and it's the close up, and that's where you just see the can with beer, and I'm like, oh, so he is drinking beer.
I'm so glad that I'm sad that I missed out on that.
But Brad gets thrown out the shop, as in by Wesley, but then Megan rocks up.
Yep.
In the old truck pickup, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, where did she go?
She just kind of like.
Was there a back door?
She just ducked out.
I didn't see a back door.
She noped out of there.
Yeah, so she's come around. I'll meet you out the front. She didn't know that. Yeah, no. Picks up Brad.
Yep. Then they have a lovely little catch up.
Like the weird thing is, she picks him up. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know who she is. Like, he gets in the car.
No.
Then they have a catch up, and he's like,
There's like some weird, terrible flirting, but they're trying to figure out who each other is, and like, oh, I remember you now. You were that girl with the ponytail and the pimples.
Yeah, the braces.
You're so pretty now.
Yeah, what? You grew up? Well, you got tits?
Puberty has done wonders.
Puberty.
Cut to... So now that they've had their flirting moment,
now they've met each other.
Fucking, yeah.
Every scene in this film, though, is in for a reason. Have you noticed? Like, there isn't any wasted scenes. Like, everything drives it along, which, like, you don't get in a lot of old horror films. Like, you have a lot of scenes where they just fill in space. Blood Diner makes me think of that. It's like 100 scenes that don't need to be in it.
Blood Diner, yes.
But yeah, every scene is crucial to the story.
Yeah.
Which I was appreciating.
So then we cut back to...
keep writing stuff down.
Yeah, my notes are huge for this film as well. And I'm like, we cut now to Cigar Man. He's calling for his doggo, but there's no doggo. And so he's like got the can of dog food, which probably looks exactly like the can of beer. And he's like dinging it, and he's like,
first he puts the dog food into the dog's bowl, which is a hubcap.
Yes.
And then he licks the spoon of the dog food, like, I'll eat that as well. And
that's fine.
Yeah.
It looked like pudding, not dog food.
Pudding.
So he's just like, the dog will come when he's hungry. It's fine. And then,
But then we get a shot, though, of the eggs. The cracked eggs.
Yep.
Next to a heater. Bomb, bomb, bomb.
Yeah, why the fuck is there a random space heater in this guy's... And right next to the eggs?
Yeah, well, he did mention that it's cold. What year? It would be cold in America in Easter because it's just after Christmas and they have winter.
Spring.
Yeah, but it's
it would still be chilly, but I'm guessing where they are is it's probably hot year round.
And yeah, he's got a little element heater on next to these eggs, and I think do we see one of them move or something happens?
Yeah, something moves. That's a nice little bit.
Cut. End scene. Cut to Nana.
Granny comes in with a small child. We've come for Easter eggs.
Yep.
So he's like, well,
I've Nana in the antique shop. She has come. She has like some little budget child with her.
Yep. They come in for Easter eggs, and she's like, "Oh, what are these?" He's like, "Oh, they're from Europe." Shifty-eyed.
Yeah, she's looking at the Kreitz eggs.
Yeah.
No, I can honestly. I got the vibe that like the guy rang her and said, "I've got some eggs if you need them for your."
Yeah, there was like some wheeling and dealing going on there at some point. So he's like, "Oh, they're fancy eggs. They're from Europe." He clearly likes her.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
Really?
No.
No. So he's like, "Oh, they're $10 each," and she's like, "Oh, but it's for the church. It's for the children."
Yeah, but I know. He goes like. That's not what the church should pay, and she was using the fear of God against him, is what I got. Like, because it's a rural town, and they're all very religious. Yes. So he was like, oh, because he's a bit of a dummy. So she used God, and he like backed down from the deal. That's what I got out of it. I thought she was
doing some old lady flirting. That's what I got from that, and yeah.
Anyhow, she cuts the deal. She gets half the eggs.
Yeah, for $25. Fucking sweet.
Yeah, so she takes half the... There's a bunch of them. There's probably about 40... She gets about 40 eggs.
Yeah, still a lot of eggs.
Yeah, but there's still there's about 15 eggs still left. I don't know how it worked out yet. Yeah. And she leaves.
Yep.
And then we cut back. We're still at antique dealer's house now, and he sees one of the eggs.
Yes.
He looks at it and goes, "What's that? It's hatched."
Yep.
It's got some gloop in it. What's hatched out of that?
Some goo.
And suddenly, where's his dog?
Uh-oh. Not the dog.
Where's dog?
Oh,
I can't remember the dog's name.
He hears this scuttling. He's cracking a beer at the same time because why wouldn't he?
Beer.
That beer would be quite warm because he's had this space heater on conveniently. And he comes across the dog's bowl. It's been devoured. So not just has the food gone, but bites have been taken out.
It looks like there's blood on it.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And then he sees the dog lying down on the ground.
Blood.
He "There's that blood near my dog," and he walks up to it, and suddenly, from behind the dog, pop up about 15 tiny little critters. And these things are only about as big as, like, they fit in your palm.
Yes.
They were very cute.
They're teeny
We've
tiny.
never seen them at this stage of them that small.
Yeah.
Because in the first film, they just appeared because they came down from a ship, so they were, like, fully grown. Well, not even fully grown, as we learn in this film. They were, like... So the critters are, imagine, gremlin size, usually. So we're looking at, what's that, about a foot high?
Yeah, about that.
Not even that. And but these little tiny ones,
yeah, just they're little babies, and they're so cute.
Yeah, and they got a big mouth, and they're they pop up, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And what does he do? He jumps up into a chair.
So they start like, because they're like, it's like throwing a little ball at you as well, and he's just like, "Oh fuck, there's lots of them." So he jumps up on a stool, and then they start biting the legs of the stool. Yeah,
but you got to remember as well, for those who don't know what critters do. So critters they're little. If for someone who hasn't seen critters, we'll just explain. They're basically little furry things. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like they're roundish. They've got a massive mouth with lots of teeth. Mm-hmm. They've got little red eyes. They've got quite little arms and legs, and their transport is they roll up into a ball and roll along.
Yep.
They also have in their back spines that they can shoot at you, which paralyzes you kind of. Kind of weakens you. It doesn't knock you completely out, but it makes you easier for them to roll up to you and then to eat you. And they just eat you.
Yes.
And they're like, for some reason, they can bite through anything. They're very vicious and they're funny. So, but what makes this film funny is because when they roll into balls, a lot of the things is just people throwing these balls at people, which I loved.
I know. It was one of my favorite, but I really enjoyed the critters rolling around and just like...
There were some bits where it looked really good though. And I think they actually had remote control ball, things that actually roll because they changed directions and stuff. Or but some of the times it was just like... I think for a lot of the critter rolling scenes is they shot them going down a hill, but they shot it on a camera and then made it look like it was flat.
Yeah.
Like they had the camera on the angle, so it looks like they're going along, but they're actually just rolling down a hill.
That makes a lot of sense.
Anyhow.
But yeah, so they start hoarding around him, and then, the leg gives way, and bam.
First one grabs his shoe and bites his toes off. So straight away, you're like, wow, they can really bite. Yeah, they are basically just a mouth.
That is a little baby taking a little baby toe.
Yeah, I think it took like the first 3 of his toes off.
Yeah.
So that's the first bit of gore, cool gore. And that's it, really. We just see him kind of like yell and fall.
He falls, and then they hoard.
They just kind of just hoard all over him.
Because then we learn, they eat as a family.
Yes, hard cut. Mm-hmm. Hard cut now.
Yeah.
We cut to Megan's house.
Yes. So she's decorating. So I think we forgot to mention that there is a little scene before Cigar Man bites it. It's Granny giving the little budget girl, some.
Oh, which is Megan's sister.
Yes, conveniently enough. She gives her one of the eggs, is like, oh, thank you very much for doing this. And here's some carob, because carob is better than chocolate.
But she still doesn't know what these eggs are.
No. So she's now given one to the little girl, and the little girl is now sitting at the kitchen table with Megan, and they're decorating the eggs. And little girl starts to, fall asleep, and Dad does the, oh, you're a bit tired there. No, I'm not. But you are. It's time for bed. And so he goes and puts her to bed. She immediately puts the carob and the egg under her bed next to a vent.
Yeah, it was weird because she's like, I'm hot.
Yeah.
Like, is it hot? Is it cold? What temperature is this down? So she, to make the scene easier, doesn't have any covers on it.
Yes.
So she puts,
it's too hot for covers.
Yeah, she's like, because when you go to bed with a chocolate rabbit and an egg. She puts them on the ground next to her bed, next to the floor heater.
Yes. Yeah, no, I would just
an excuse to get it near a heater.
Why would you take it to bed?
You could have just done it that they started hatching. Because you could have just said, oh, they only, in your mind, they only hatch when there's movement around them. Because some things do that.
Yes.
Like, once they get moved around and there's, physical, things. And that would have been fine.
Yeah.
I didn't need the heat thing. I thought that was, I thought so many things, hibernate and then react when there's something around them kind of thing. So, but they went with it.
They would have hatched outside. Because obviously we're under the impression that it is quite hot.
Now.
And they're just, hatching.
Yeah. Anyway. So she puts the critter egg on the ground. She goes to sleep. Yes. Then we cut to Brad.
Yes.
He's at Nana's.
Yep.
And he looks through a box of basically props from the first film. He's
got pictures, newspaper clippings. He's got his little
So he's got at the end of the first film, he was given a remote control by the bounty hunters and said, if you're ever in trouble, press this and we'll come help you.
Yeah.
Which is that thing. He finds that, which he never took with him. Because he's convinced that it didn't happen now.
Yeah.
Or some shit. I don't know. So we can see that. Brad's still got the remote. Yeah, cool.
He finds a little picture of him and Charlie.
Yeah, so we know him and Charlie.
He has a moment. He's like, "Oh, I'm missing."
Which was weird because it was a photo, but it was actually a screenshot from the film, which is weird. Yeah, here's a screenshot of that film I was in
with that one guy who's what's your name again? Yep, that guy.
Simple Man.
Cute. And as he vocalizes that he's, I miss you, Charlie, we see this shooting star off in the background.
Implying that, Charlie and that are coming down to Earth. Yeah, I skipped ahead, didn't I, with that? They haven't landed on Earth yet.
Not yet, no.
But they are in the atmosphere, definitely.
Yes. So then we cut back to the little girl asleep, and she's coughing. I found this to be very
weird,
disturbing and unnecessary. Are you sick? What is going on?
Yeah, have you got a fever? Is that why you're hot?
Like, why are you coughing and rolling around like a fool?
It's true.
I'm not okay with it. Anyway.
And now we see the egg hatch.
Yep. Starts to move, cracks. Bunny's melted by this time. And then we get this POV of what we can just only assume is a critter running around under her bed.
Yeah, going... Yeah, we get a couple of, those POV... I think, did he attack the carrot bunny? No. And now... This is short-lived as Critter's life. The dad comes in to check on his daughter and basically just steps straight on the little critter.
Squishes it.
And this is the first we see of the inside of the critters. They're green.
Yep.
That was a big thing that you took away from the first film. So the critters inside are green. So you get, when it's blood, human blood, it's red. When it's critter blood, it's green. And this is what the first critter film had and this critter film have, is there is a lot of critter carnage. And it's all in fun and jest. Like... there's lots of... and it's also the same as the Gremlins. They're all green inside as well when they did the blender scene and all stuff like that. We should mention the genre of this film that we have worked out.
Yes.
So this goes in hand with Gremlins and that. And it's a officially, IMDb calls it's a mini monster film.
Yes.
So those films were, because like, it's weird that I had to think about it so hard that I've seen so many of these mini monster films, which I'll get into later.
Yeah.
I'm going to name all the mini monster films for you guys so you can track them down if you need it. Anyhow, we see the first crunching. He steps up, it's all gooey.
Like,
and he goes,
I think I've crushed your egg.
Yeah.
Because you left it on the fucking floor.
In a heat wave, in a heater. Yeah, you bloody idiot. And again, as kids, you do dumb things like that.
Yeah, I just like, you've got a bedside table. Why are you putting food on the floor?
Because there's a heater. Anyhow, cut to next morning.
Yep.
Is this Easter Day? No, it's the day before Easter.
I'm guessing it is Easter Day because we've got all these church biddies organising the Easter celebrations. So they're putting finishing touches on the eggs. They're in the church garden hiding eggs. They're just generally being church biddies, moving around. And
then we get the new sheriff comes in and he's like, "What? I don't want to have to." So he's not Harv from the first one. He comes in like, "What do I have to do this? Why do I have to dress up?"
Yeah.
He goes like, "The old sheriff used to do it every year."
Well, I ain't the old sheriff.
Yeah, so we've got this young new sheriff. He doesn't want to have fun.
He doesn't want to be
dress
the
up.
bunny.
He doesn't want to dress up as the Easter bunny. And we get that kind of scene.
Look, it's hot. You wouldn't want to be wearing a bunny suit while it's hot. I get that. Also stops you from reaching for your gun.
Yeah, so we see now, like, everyone's painting up the critter eggs. We see them put out into the sunlight.
Yep.
So we see them all put out now into the Easter egg hunt amongst all these other Easter eggs, like bunnies and stuff like that. So now all the critter eggs are out in the
direct sunlight.
Out in the direct sunlight, which we all know heat hatches them.
It does.
And I think we start to get a little bit of pulsating from the eggs.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit of like...
I thoroughly enjoyed that all the children rocked up to this church while they're still hiding them, and they're like, "You can't hunt for your eggs now. You gotta go listen to the sermon."
Yeah,
that's just bullshit.
Yeah, but then the whole town rocks up at church.
Yep.
So the kids rock up, the town rocks up, they're in, and they're having like a sermon, an Easter sermon.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's got a name. I haven't been to Easter church.
I don't know. Easter church.
And then we get the kind of like overlaid with the montage of them having the sermon. We also see the eggs hatching.
Yeah, so they're cracking, they're hatching, shit's coming out of it.
So we can only assume there's a bunch of little tiny critters out there.
Meanwhile, in the church, Megan and Brad have a cross-room flirt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, looking some side-eyeing.
That's where you get your best action at Easter church.
Whoa, so I hear.
Oh, the amount
and her
of
dad catches on
and
he's having none of that. He kind of leans forward, gives him the look. He's like, you ain't getting that near my daughter.
You're a blow-in. You're a drifter.
So it's a lovely sermon about resurrection, which is convenient for all of the krites that are about to resurrect from their eggs.
It's true. They've been asleep for at least 3 days.
I find the next scene to be strange.
So now we have the sheriff?
Almost.
What?
So we cut to a scene where there are kids playing. They're obviously in like some Sunday school room. They're playing around. Now, a kid purposely knocks one of the critter eggs off of the table. It spurts, obviously. It like cracks. It does a kind of thing. And then he picks it up and kind of just casually throws it out the window for some unknown reason. And it knocks another egg and it goes rolling down the hill. And then, of course, the egg opens and a baby critter comes out.
Yeah, so this is... Yeah, I actually left this bit out of my notes. But yeah, and I thought, well, that wasn't needed, that scene. It was just to show the mischievousness of kids, like... Because I would have done that. He knocks it off on purpose just to see it smash.
Yeah.
He just wanted to break something beautiful.
I figured he was just going to, like, try and eat it under the table.
Yeah, like the Cadbury Cream Egg kid.
Yeah.
Don't get caught with critter on your face.
Yeah. Oh, shit. It's great.
Yeah, so, anyhow.
Yeah.
I skipped that bit.
Then we cut to the grumpy-ass bunny sheriff.
He's getting in his suit.
He's in his suit. He's complaining because it rides too high in the crutch. So he's
walking through the Easter egg hunt area, getting ready because the kids are going to come out and Easter Bunny's going to be there. His suit does the zipper get like...
Yeah, well, because the suit's too small for him. So he's got this, like, one area.
Massive wang.
He's obviously sporting some kind of big dick because it's not fitting in that bunny suit. So he's complaining about it. Then he's like complaining about the kids and just starts like bunny hopping around. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 critters?
Yeah, about four of the little critters, like the fist-sized critters, go thunk, 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 and go into his open suit.
Dick smash him and crawl around his suit.
Yeah, and we see him like going.
Yeah,
we've seen how hard they can bite.
We're like, oh shit, what's happening to the sheriff?
Then we cut back to the sermon, and he's saying some poignant thing, and then all of a sudden, the sheriff smashes through the front plank glass window of the church. Everyone stands up, and he's down. He's dead. Blood on him. We don't know how he's dead.
We don't know. So then we cut to outside. Everyone's crying. You know, Megan finds Brad sitting alone. And then
Brad knows what's up.
He knows what's up.
He
doesn't want to admit it, but he knows what's up.
Bullshit critter action.
Megan's like, you know what's up. She's like, I know that you know that I know that you know.
Straight away, I would have been like, you came to town. The day you come to town, shit starts getting murdered.
Yeah. Oh, suspect. She's having none of his denial bullshit. She's like, we're gonna go off and find Harv.
Yeah, Harv. We need Harv. Harv back. He solved it. So they go to Harv's house.
Yep. Like, we need you in town. Sheriff's dead, and he's like, oh, you need a new sheriff? Call the yellow, check the yellow pages.
Yellow page. Yeah, he's off it. He's like, critters are back.
Yeah.
I'm fucking off.
And she's like, comes out of his train, and he's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm hauling ass.
He goes like, everyone should do. We should all leave.
Yeah.
He gets into his car and just drives off. See you around, cunts. End of Harv.
End of Harv.
And scene cut. And we cut to the spaceship landing.
Yes.
It's in the, as I said, just in the daytime. No cloaking, just land.
That's fine. Just out. Charlie comes out of the forest area, the bushes, and he finds the Playboy.
Straight to the Playboy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the puzzle pieces.
He's having a look through.
Chaos theory.
It's pretty, it's a Playboy. It's an 80s Playboy. It's what you expect. Ugg and No Face, aka Lee, come following behind him, and he's like, "Oh, this is American culture. This is it's really good for the articles." And he starts doing that, like, you found me reading a porno.
Yeah, I read the articles.
Here's my generic male excuse for you've caught me watching porn.
He shows the Playboy to the centerfold.
Yep.
To
Lee.
To Lee, and then Lee suddenly starts to transform. Yes. It's a great transformation scene.
It's fantastic.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, because we get a full transformation of the breasts.
Yep.
We're talking full 80s boobs.
So because she saw a naked lady, her clothes just disappear?
Yeah. Well, the boobs are too big for the... So
they burst out of the chainmail?
Yeah, that's...
Doesn't really make sense, but it has a great joke in it. Because she looks down and she's got a giant staple because of the centerfold on her chest, and she just pops the staple off of herself. It's a joke, and I thought that was a heaps good joke.
Yeah, it's well done,
She's got her boobs out, and all she's wearing is like a loincloth up her ass. So she doesn't put a top on or anything.
No.
For some reason now, she's got legless pants.
Yes. They disappeared. I don't know where they went.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
She's this beautiful, ridiculously beautiful,
big
blonde,
hair, blonde.
80s hair. I'm pretty certain she's the wife of the director.
Well, she is. I looked in the notes. She is not the girl in the centerfold that she turned into. She is not the same.
Well, she probably wasn't available.
No, she was just an actress, I think.
Yeah, because she's the woman, the Room 237 woman from the Shining TV series.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
What, the corpse lady?
Yeah. Yeah, the hot lady.
Oh, when she's hot.
Yeah.
Not when she's a corpse.
Yeah, no, not when she's a corpse. So she just, kind of like sour face, and she's like, kill Kreitz.
Yeah.
And just starts walking.
Yeah, so she... that's what Ugg was like when he first transformed as well. So she has to learn, the language. So all she knows is kill Kreitz.
Yeah.
She's got a massive throbbing dick gun.
She does.
There's actually a bit later on where she actually holds it in front of a crutch to fire it as well.
Well, yeah, and I really... we'll get to that. Yeah.
So the big stage. They walk into town. She's got her boobs out. They start walking towards the town.
Yeah.
Charlie's like, oh, shit, maybe...
Yeah, he's got the clothes. He's like, you can't be doing that. Put the clothes on. I'm uncomfortable. I have a boner. It's weird.
Don't look at me.
So next up, like for some reason, Brad and
Megan are driving.
Megan are out driving, and they run into what did you call her? Redneck Karen.
Yeah, Redneck Karen. Rural Karen.
Rural Karen. She comes hysterically running out. Critters are chasing her, and she's
no, there's no critters chasing her. She just comes running out because she's like, I don't know why, but she's like, I can't get hold of like the antique dealer.
Yeah. He must sell some pretty nice antiques.
Yeah.
So she's like in hysterics, and they're like, oh, no, it's okay. Like, you just fucking hang out here. Like, I got this. I'm going to go investigate. So he goes.
Or maybe she did see critters. She saw critters.
Yeah.
Because like Brad's just like, I'll go in by myself.
Yeah.
You ladies.
Ladies, stay here. I got this.
Yeah, I got that.
I got this. He opens the door to the.
No, first we get a wicked line.
What's the line?
They stop in front of the antique dealer, and Brad's like, "I'll go in alone." He goes, "You can't go in alone." He goes, "What are we gonna do? Call Critter Busters?" And I said we should call someone. He goes, "Who are we gonna call? Critter Busters?" And
I missed that line. Son of a bitch! I'm always writing lines down.
The best part is as well that he goes in with no weapons.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's dealt with them before. You need to shoot them or kill, because you can't kill them quite easily. They're very fleshy.
Yes.
He just goes in with nothing.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got his big.
He doesn't even go in. He opens the door.
He opens the door, and we get the cigar man's corpse.
How did he get up there?
I don't know.
The critter, these critters have just.
Well, because he falls down, and the critters are just there.
Yeah, it's like
they've clearly propped him up.
They laugh. I like the critters laugh. And They can talk very
yeah.
Like a couple of words.
I did enjoy it.
Even though in the first film they had their own language and that was subtitled, but in this one they can speak English for some reason.
Yeah, some of it was subtitled still, but yeah.
Yeah.
So then the critters start attacking.
And they're full size now.
Yep.
For some reason. Even though they've only eaten... They didn't eat him.
No, they didn't.
He's just got like
some of him.
He's just got like his eye out and he's just like got some wounds.
Good night's sleep and he'll be fine.
It's true.
Yep. So the critters start attacking. One of them has his little spine. He shoots out at the car.
Yeah, Brad runs into the truck.
Yep.
And the truck won't start because it's like a pickup kind of ute,
Yeah.
And then the critters start attacking the truck, which is just someone throwing critters at the car.
Yeah, that was great. They just covered a bunch of basketballs in felt and just threw them. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
One of them bites onto the wheel and fills up with air straight away.
Yeah.
Just fills up.
It was awesome. So the critters are like they're like, they're cannon fodder for just humour. Like, carnage humour.
Yes.
So this critter, he bites the tire, blows up big like a balloon, and then when they drive off, he just gets splattered.
Squished.
And that's wicked.
Squished. So then they go, obviously, we've got to go get Granny. Granny's not in church, mind you. She's at her home. So she's left everyone at the congregation. I would assume
that she lived at the church. Or right next to it or something.
Yeah, well, in a town that size, she probably is the daycare centre and the paediatric nurse. I don't know, something. Anyway, she starts facing off with a critter.
Yeah, there's like a critter in her fridge.
Yeah.
So this is the start where everything starts to go haywire.
Yeah.
For some reason now the critters are fully grown.
Mm-hmm.
They're not babies anymore.
No.
So this is the start of the end, if you know what I mean. The montage of fun. Everyone's dealing... This is like the bit in Gremlins where the mum has to fight them in the kitchen. They're out, they're about, they're not hiding anymore.
They're doing stuff.
They're ready.
So Brad comes running in, and meanwhile, Granny's dealing with one of the critters, and he's like, the critters are back. And she's just like, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
So the critter, does it jump out the fridge at them or something?
Yeah.
It kind of in the air, it's a slow-mo jump, the critter, they're on the ground cowering, and then all of a sudden, the bloody wall explodes.
It does.
And the critter just gets knocked back and splats all green everywhere. And I'm like, critter coverage.
I really liked how he's like, where's the communicator? Where's the remote? And she's like, oh, the remote, it's on the TV. And he's like, not the fucking remote. And he's pressing the button. And then...
the instant he presses it, basically, the wall explodes. And they're like, you got here fast!
Yeah.
But they're already coming. This reminds me, the critter, the guts on the wall. I was obsessed with the first critters and this critters when I was younger. Mm. And I used to go out in my backyard, collect all the sour sobs, and then get a rock and crush them up into this globule paste.
Yeah.
Right? And then throw it against the wall of my house, making out I was exploding critters. And
Oh,
my
I
parents
love
would just
that.
come out and they just feel this green gunk coming down the side of their house. I'm like, what's going on? Like,
Shut up, Mum. I'm killing critters.
but I would like replay the scene like from Critters 1 where they shoot it with the shotgun and the critter says fuck, and I'd be like fuck, and then go and like splat it all over the like in my head, like my playtime with me exploding critters.
That's cute. I really wish we'd have known each other back then. Fuck, we would have had a good time.
Anyway, the bounty hunters walk. Yeah, this is so we see another one of those erection gunshots.
Yep.
As in like poses. The gun reloading by the erection going, like, you know, getting a soft on.
Yep. So then we somehow cut from that to...
And then Charlie runs in and they're reunited.
Yes. Yep. So Brad uses a communicator. Basically, the bounty hunters have rocked up. They've blown up Granny's house. Charlie and Brad have a heartfelt monologue. He's like, I just, I didn't fit in here. I fit in with them. I'm a bounty hunter now. My life is better. Like, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm a bounty. And she's like, yeah, right. He goes, no, I am. I'm a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, Charlie, you're doing something with your life finally.
Yeah,
he still
well
looks
done.
really out of place in his bounty hunter uniform. He's just he's thin and balding, and he's kind of like, a guy that you'd imagine in Mad Max would be flying a plane.
Yeah. He had very pretty eyes, though.
He did. Very endearing. He'd be a great, husband at the end of your life. You've had 3 husbands. You want to settle down. He'd be a great one to have there as a friend for the rest of your life.
The last one, yep.
The keeper, the safe bet.
Well, you always go with the safe bet. Cut to the newsroom. Something crawling around in the vents. So the newsman, Dad, he's there and he starts piling shit up. He's blocking the vents. Got to get that critter out of the way. No, I haven't none of that. Then it cuts straight to the bounty hunters walking towards the hungry heifer. It's fucking trash. There's all the critters are in there.
And we get a Gremlins-like scene of them.
We do.
Of them just going mad.
They're feasting. They're tossing salads. They're just...
They're splurting ketchup everywhere.
Well,
they're eating hamburgers.
Flipping burgers, having a laugh. It's a good time.
Doing things that they'd never do because it's funny to us. It wouldn't be funny to a critter.
That's right. Yeah.
So we got a lot of puppet work, and their faces look good. There's a lot of animatronic in some of their mouths. Their eyes blink. They got little red eyes. I like them. It's just a fun scene.
Yeah, and then immediately they kind of figure out that Ugg and Lee are there, and then they're
looking at
uh-oh, and then boom, critter shootout. I did like though that Ugg comes in and he's got his crutch gun and it's like. And then Lee's just like, oh yeah? It just gets bigger.
The guns, they kind of before they fire, they extend and erect. And then when they fire, they kind of go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a very crutch shot.
Clearly bigger.
It was like a chick with a dick.
Yep.
Which was very hot in the 80s. So then we get this montage of the critters actually exploding, guts going everywhere.
Great.
One falls into the deep fryer.
That was cool because then he comes out, he doesn't have his little fur on anymore, and he's all he's like a scrotum.
And this is what the critter films are about. They're about, and mini monster films are about the carnage of the mini monsters.
Yeah.
We're seeing them splattered up against the wall. They're doing this, the guns are great. The guns are so OP. They blow up whole walls just to hit one critter and stuff like that. So they're firing at them. They're firing away. Oh, it was great. It was a cacophony of critter guts and explosions. It was it was one of my favourite scenes in the film.
Yep. Then they all start bowling out.
No, first 4 of them join together.
Yep.
And turn into one big ball and roll out and smash through the door.
Yeah, and then
which we've never seen before.
Conveniently, there's a group of townspeople standing there, and they get bowled over.
Yeah,
they get a strike.
And you hear a bowling noise as well, like a strike noise.
I love it.
Then they start causing mayhem in the town. They're chasing people around.
Chewing through phone lines,
Getting into everything. Fucking everything up, doing funny things. So the town's in mayhem.
Yep.
The critters are real!
Oh my god, Brad, he was right this whole time.
Critters 1 turned up to 100.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
That's what I got when I used to watch this in the 80s.
Yep. So Brad, Megan, and Granny. No rural Karen, though. She
just disappeared.
She's disappeared.
They rock up.
They rock up to the newspaper place. You know, they've rocked up to save Dad from the newspaper room, and as they're getting him out, Critter nails him in the neck with one of the spine.
With a barb.
A barb.
And so Dad's all weak at the knees. Oh, Dad needs help.
Oh, no.
So they help Dad into the car and he bails off. So that didn't work very well for the Critter at all.
Yeah. They're like trying to flag down Metalhead, who's in his Jeep, and he just fucks off.
He fucks off. He's a dickhead.
They're like, what's happening? You're a fucking coward. So everyone starts congregating in the church. You know, come on, yep, we'll be safer in here. We'll be...
Yeah, because why would you just run into one spot? But anyhow, it doesn't matter. Everyone runs to the church.
I'd like to point out that this pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call him, does not kick ass for the Lord.
No.
He does not.
And then we go back to like... Metalhead, and he tries to get out of town, but the Critters have chewed down a Stobie pole and blocked out the only road out of town.
Conveniently located next to the hamburger factory.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
Yes. Foreshadowing for later.
So then we cut back to the bounty hunters. They're like Kreitz feed together. They like meat. So we get a little bit of information. Yeah. So then they're having this chat about it outside the Hungry Heifer. Meanwhile, the Poindexter comes up and he's just like, who's going to pay for all this? Like,
who's going to pay for all this stuff?
You guys have done this. You got to pay for it. And then Lee just starts to like freak out and transform into
the Poindexter. So
like,
Lee, obviously the form of the lady wasn't really taking, and he now turns into the Poindexter Pee Wee Herman, I called him. Then we get a montage of basically it's nighttime now all of a sudden.
Yep.
And we get a montage of like, you know, the bounty hunters going through killing, blowing up Kreitz.
Some of the town's on fire, you know, that kind of thing. Brad and Megan are like,
then all of a sudden
they're having a talk.
But also, where have all the critters gone? They've gone somewhere.
Don't know.
They're not around anywhere. Well, where the fuck are they?
They're hiding.
It's too quiet.
Yep. That's fine.
And then then we get this weird scene of like Lee walking around with Charlie, and then suddenly Lee starts to transform again, and Charlie looks to see what he's transforming into, and it's a Freddy Krueger cutout.
Yes.
In the background, he's about to turn into Freddy Krueger.
And he's just like, Charlie's like, oh, fuck, no, don't turn into that. No. And then pulls up the Playboy, because he's conveniently got the Playboy on his persons, mind you.
Why wouldn't
for
you?
later.
Throw that away.
No, it's American culture.
Keeping it in the wank bank. He holds the Playboy up in front of Lee again, and Lee transforms back into the Playboy lady.
Sexy lady, yep.
Who's now has a different uniform and clothes fit better, and her boobs aren't out all the time.
Yeah, that's fine. No more of that. Anyway, so the critters attack Lee.
Yeah, they set a trap for her.
Yeah.
They kind of lead her down into an alley, a dead end alley, and then they all come up from around bins and all jump onto her all at once and kill her.
Yep, kill Kreitz. So they come. We hear this monstrous scream. Ugh, Charlie, they come to the rescue. They find nothing but a severed arm.
And Ugg fucking loses it. He snaps.
He transforms.
He yells and he transforms.
It's a mighty yell too.
Back into his blob face form. Like he's just gone so to pieces that he can't even hold transform anymore. He can't do anything. He's sad.
Yep.
His partner's dead. Everyone goes back to the church again.
Yep.
And then we see the little girl suddenly is outside.
Yeah, so then we cut to this scene where there's a guy standing out the front, like having a cigarette or something, and he's got he's got a shotgun. I think we're just now in like.
Well, now we have the cops that are left in the town are kind of guarding the church, but there's no critters around at the moment. And
so he's like he hears these critter noises, he's looking around, and little girl sort of pops her head out, and he's just like, fucking go inside, or I'm gonna tell your daddy, and he gonna whoop your ass.
And she doesn't do anything.
She doesn't.
And then he dies.
Nothing happens. And then, he dies. And the little girl starts riding her tricycle away. I'm like, A, how did you get outside that quickly? And B, how did you get that tricycle down the stairs? And B, why do you think that riding away is going to be a good option for you right
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. I think it's a homage to the little girl in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
because she's wearing the exact same clothes as well.
Yeah.
So they hear it from in the church. They hear the girl scream.
Yep.
Brad runs out the back, sees her riding off her tricycle into the night with like critters rolling after.
Yep.
He runs after her. He's got a baseball bat.
Yep.
He starts baseballing critters away.
Beating her. Now, here's a problem. This dumb bitch falls off of a tricycle. How do you fall off of a tricycle?
I don't know. Get
You
off
don't.
balance. Trying to do a trick. Maybe she was trying to do a flip.
Doing flips and shit.
Yeah, she was maybe trying to do like a.
So now we're stuck. She's on the ground. This girl's on the ground and, there's critters approaching and Brad's doing the best he can. We need a hero.
We need a hero. Yeah, they're about to get killed. There's nothing they can do. The critters are surrounding them. Suddenly, pew, 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 pew. Suddenly, there's all these gunshots. All the critters get shot.
Yep.
Blood splurts out of them. They all go down dead. Cut to Harv
Fucking Harv.
in his original sheriff
He's
outfit.
back.
He's back. He says a line, which is cool.
To the rescue. What is his line?
I can't remember.
Nah,
He just says a cool thing. Like,
Well,
let's
everyone's
fuck cunts up.
everyone's gonna... Yeah, fucking creds.
Yeah. Oh,
Then
man.
we cut to, we see this image of some critters feeding on cows.
Yep.
Okay, so that's quick, shot in the pan, back to the church.
And that's where all the critters are.
Yeah.
So all the critters now, we see them all, they're all kind of heading to these cows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we see that in the town. They can see them from the church. They see all the critters rolling as one massive hit. There's like 40 of them, 50 of them, 100 of them. They're all rolling to these cows. They're like, oh my God, there must be hundreds.
Something's going on.
There wasn't hundreds of eggs, so I don't know what's going on there, but...
Yep. And he's like, so now we need a plan. Harv is the fucking plan. And I like that he calls them man-eating dust mops.
Well, at first the town goes a bit crazy, and they would.
They're
what
pointing
I said,
fingers. They're like, Brad,
well,
you're
none of this would have happened. Like the day that Brad rocks up, the aliens come back. Mm-hmm. They start theying to blame like Brad, which thought seemed legit. Like, it's a good enough reason. Like, did you bring these?
Yeah,
because
it makes sense.
I had 2 years of being away, and the day you come back,
Convenient.
they rock up. Anyway, Harv shoots his gun in the air, and he goes. He basically tells everyone to shut the fuck up. Stop blaming the kid. We need a fucking plan.
That's right.
At this point, did you notice Brad had a lot of eyeliner on?
I didn't.
He had some hard eyeliner makeup going on. Big eyelashes, eyeliner around. Very, very, very nice.
Maybe he was going to a show after.
Maybe. Maybe he's going,
Going off to see some wasp or something.
Wasp. Anyhow, they make a plan.
Yeah.
Brad comes out, why don't we lure all the critters into the hamburger factory and then we'll blow them up.
Fucking A.
Genius.
Great plan.
It's a great plan.
I love it.
I was like, yeah, that makes... Because they mentioned, they've already foreshadowed that they like to eat together. So if you've got a big bunch of meat...
And they're like, me. So you put 2 and 2 together.
Yep.
Bam, you got a genius
Done.
fucking
So then we
plan.
get a montage to music.
I like that also the sheriff's like, okay, we need some volunteers. Brad's like, yeah, I'm in. Sheriff, he's in. Metalhead steps forward.
Yeah, no one else steps.
He's like, I'll do it. Yep.
And then Megan gives him a kind of a, ooh.
Obviously, Ugg, he's out the count. He's grieving, he's sad. So Charlie steps up and he's like, right. Harv's like, this fucking ragtag team of pussies, we're going to go fuck shit up.
The first he goes like, who volunteers? Everyone keeps quiet and eventually, Badass says yeah.
Yep.
Megan said yeah. And then at the end, Harv just goes, you're all volunteering.
Yeah.
No choice.
Yeah, no, you either volunteer or you die.
Yeah.
So then, they start loading up the Polar Iceberger factory with explosives.
But
now, it's a lot of explosives.
We also get a montage of the town just weaponing up, getting like rakes and axes and stuff. So they're all like, but and then they do have a lot of explosives. Like, they are a rural town.
Yes.
There's a dude brings it in there's dynamite.
Yeah.
Actual dynamite.
It's actual legitimate.
And they actually have a plunger mechanism like in a cartoon.
I'm sad that it didn't say Acme on it.
It's true. It's true.
Fine.
And they pile up all the dynamite in the burger place. Mm-hmm. They sneak out.
A metalhead turns on a fan.
Yeah, and then they turn on a fan to blow the smell towards the crates.
Yep.
Which works.
They fall for it and they're on the move.
They all look around and they're like, oh, what is wicked?
Meanwhile,
party. But then we get a shot of a weather vane, which is what I like, showing the wind's going in the correct direction.
The right direction. We're okay, guys. I'd like to point out as well that the townsfolk, they have torches and pitchforks and start following the critters.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, that was silly of them, wasn't it? So I guess they want to see if the plan worked. So basically, the critters are all rolling towards the factory, and they kind of tail behind them, all of them, going, it's working.
Yeah.
But they do mention, because I was like, why wouldn't they just attack the people? But they do mention, the miracle line is like, as long as we stay downwind.
That's right.
And I'm like, it
they
works.
Can't smell you.
You can't argue with that.
It's fine. It's logic.
But then, oh shit. You see the weather vane suddenly change direction.
Fuck. What's going to happen?
It's the happening all over again. And all the critters stop.
Yep.
And they're like, fucking live meat's better. They say it.
Yes, live meat is better.
And they start to roll off. But then there's a big critter. So this whole time there's been a bigger critter.
Yep.
The big critter says, wait.
Yep.
Wait up. But
cheeseburgers.
That's his argument. It's like that.
Cheeseburgers.
I can have cheeseburger.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like, same, buddy.
His argument was cheeseburgers have no bones.
No bones. That's great.
And they're like, fuck yeah.
So then they're like, yeah, okay.
So they take the advice of Big Critter and they go,
I would. Cheeseburgers are great.
At this point, I was like, what? What was that all about? And I was like, yep, cool. Little did I know, that is more foreshadowing because it's what all this film does.
So they head back towards the factory. They have a crazy feeding frenzy.
They have a hamburger party.
This is pretty much like this feeding frenzy was Bryn and me after Boxing Day. We went to Hungry Jack's. We ate a bunch of fucking cheeseburgers. And I'm like, yeah.
Do you know what my favourite thing is? Going to McDonald's, you know the fillet of fish?
Yes.
Is it called that or the ocean catch? Whatever it's called at McDonald's.
The filet-o-fish.
Filet-o-fish.
Yeah.
You buy 4 filet-o-fishes.
That's so many.
Because you know how they're on like brioche, but the softest buns in the world as well, and the fillet-o-fish is very soft.
Yes.
And you make a stack, one burger out of them, and you've basically made the softest, highest burger in the entire world that you can just... You don't even have to cut it. You could just you could karate chop it and it would come apart. It's so soft. You've made the softest hangover food in the entire world. It's the best because there's no chewing involved hardly at all.
That is interesting. And the next time I have a hangover, I will report back.
Oh, I've done it heaps
and I'll
of
be
times,
like, Dan, I threw up everywhere.
And I'll be like...
It's in my hair.
I'll be like, perfect. Anyhow, they start having a burger party. Everything's going great.
Yep.
And then what happens?
They're trying to shut the door, but the big critter
sees Brad.
Starts
the big one, the one that was what I can has cheeseburger critter. And then they have this weird shot of Brad just staring at the critter staring back at him for way too long, like a romance stare. And then all of a sudden, the critter starts getting bigger.
Whoa.
And then it glows, and all of a sudden, it's Ugg.
Ugg, you crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
You did it. He was the one. Ugg had transformed into a critter, and he was the one who, told them to go have cheeseburgers.
Yep.
So he's not out the game. He was there in full force. That would have been hard for old Ugg to transform into that.
He took the form. He did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it. And
what he could have done, he rolled out as the critter, transformed where no one could see him, and then shot the gun into them and blown them up. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's still a solid plan.
Yeah. So then they try and shut the door. They try and grab Ugg. There's a bit of a struggle. Ugg gets out. They
shut the door down on the critters.
They fucking blow.
They use their plunger. Boom, down.
Wile E. Coyote comes out and he fucking presses down.
Yeah, they're basically Wile E. Coyote, the Roadrunner, blow the critter, and they blow up the meat factory. It's a big, good explosion as well.
It is.
It's a real explosion.
Yeah.
There's no CG.
No.
It doesn't want to blow up the whole place. It just kind of like fire comes out of all the windows and stuff like that. And we're like, critter barbecue.
Great.
Then, of course, it's one of the most romantic scenes ever. Like, out the front of a burning burger place. Brad and Megan decide to have, maybe a bit of a kiss because it is a romantic setting. I can't think of anything more romantic than like a place on fire with burning corpses inside.
That's where Liz and I had our first kiss.
It's true.
Yeah.
At this point, I was like, I don't think it worked, eh?
Yeah, that is a bit. I don't know.
Do you want to know why? You don't see any critter corpses.
No,
we don't hear them yelling.
We don't see. We don't hear.
There's nothing. We just see a factory. And suddenly, all of a sudden, before Brad and Megan get to kiss, everything starts to rumble like an earthquake. Not sure why. Still not sure why it was rumbling. But suddenly, the doors that they previously locked the critters in explode open, and it is one gigantic critter. They have all joined together into one mega critter.
Fuck. Everybody run.
We actually forgot to mention earlier that when the 4 critters join together, they hit a wall and split back open. So we know that they can join together and like split apart. Well, we forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
And now they have just the critters have now turned into the big slow lumbering monster that ends all horror. Like, you know, he's rolling around. It's kind of cool. There's a couple of balls you can see. There's one which is just a ball with just spots on it.
Yep.
But there's one that actually has little critters all over with mouths that move. You
see all the faces and stuff?
Yeah,
I'm like, I like that.
So it's basically a giant... And this thing is huge. It's like as tall as a house.
Yeah. It's fucking huge. And then it rolls over some dude. This is probably my favourite scene of the whole film.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Because this dude's running and he's like...
They're like, oh, fuck. The town people scatter, except for there's one dude who kind of falls over... The ball rolls over him, and all that's left is just a bloody shaking skeleton. And like there's just someone out of shot shaking it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this is wicked.
Hands down my favourite scene in that film.
I've lost where I'm up to. So then,
right, they're heading back to town.
Yeah. So
they're like, oh fuck, the children. Won't somebody think of the children?
For some reason, the critters are aware that there are children in a church now.
Yeah. They're like, all these townspeople around. No one is looking after the children.
Exactly. So, yeah, Brad and Megan get into their truck.
Yep.
They start chasing the critter ball.
We've got a full-on Fast and Furious moment happening. We've got them side by side. They're crashing into the critter ball.
There's little mouths next to them.
Like Brad's like, oh, fuck. He loses the door. Shit's happening.
And then, everyone is standing at the church. The critter ball's not going very fast.
No.
I love this bit that they're all standing out the front of the church just going... Ah! It's like that bit. Was it in Wayne's World when the slow?
Is it Wayne's World? No, it's fucking Austin Powers, isn't it?
Austin Powers,
like,
yeah. Yeah, like basically that scene in Austin Powers. Like the critter ball's not going that far. They could just leave. Yeah, they don't.
They're like,
They're like, oh shit! Anyhow, Brad comes in with the car, smashes into the critter ball, knocking it off course, but consequently also flipping the truck.
Fuck. Shit.
Oh no. They had once again the critter then does a lap of the town square very slowly.
That's making its way downtown.
Why didn't they leave?
No,
they're just still all standing at the front of the church going, no.
Yeah, like what the fuck's happening? Also, I think we didn't point out that while all of this was happening, Charlie fucked off. He ran away, and everyone's like, "Fucking Charlie!"
Yeah. So he's been in it for a while. Yeah. So then Brad and Megan run over to the church, and then they stand out the front of the church going, no! Yeah! Watching this giant, slow, lumbering ball come towards the church.
Yep.
There's nothing to do. They're just going to have to be eaten because no one knows how to walk out the way of anything anymore, especially a slow-moving ball.
Because now it's one ball, so it's like, well...
One giant critter.
You just sort of kick Nana's crutch and fuck off, and she's... Yep, okay.
But anyhow, suddenly, out of nowhere, comes... the spaceship. Yeah. It flies along, and we cut to Charlie at the helm.
Screaming. He's screaming.
He's screaming, I'm a bounty hunter!
And then he fucking suicide bombs the
He just kamikazes straight into the critter ball and explodes. Now, I've written in my notes here, I'm pretty sure that ship would have had some weapons on it. Mm-hmm. He maybe should have shot the missile into it, or a laser. Maybe he didn't know how to do it. Anyhow, he flies the ship in. He kamikaze. The critter ball explodes. They are mashed. They are dead. We know they're dead now. Unfortunately, Charlie is dead.
Oh, Charlie.
Suck a dick. The main characters, and then it kind of got. That's it.
Yep.
Slow fade to the next day.
Well, Ugg transforms.
That's the next day, though, isn't it?
Is it? No. So Ugg starts to transform. Like, so as soon as it's happened, everyone's like, oh, okay,
Charlie.
fuck. And then Ugg transforms into Charlie.
And
the look on the sheriff's face is like, I'm shitting my pants right now. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, because he doesn't know the bounty hunter's transform at this stage.
Then it cuts to the next day.
Everyone...
they're rebuilding the town,
And it has this shot where they're all kind of sitting out the front of the church, and then all the main characters from the movie all come and basically as if they're posing for a photo at the front of the church, but there's no camera.
There's no camera.
Just so they're all there.
So Brad's heading back to the bus. Him and Ugg share a lovely moment. No.
First, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes Charlie running in. That's why they're at the church.
Does that happen?
Yeah.
No.
Did you miss that?
No. I've got a bunch of different notes. Because it happens at the bus. It happens at the bus because Ugg's there and they're like, they have a moment.
You're right.
Granny gives Brad some kind of weird fucking cake that he's just literally just going to throw out the window as soon as he's out of town.
Yeah.
And then Brad and Megan are once again cock-blocked by Harv as he walks past them.
Basically, Brad's just bailing.
Yeah.
And like, why does she want... Yeah, and then like they go to kiss again.
Yeah.
Well,
and then,
why does she want to kiss him? He's about to leave.
I know. They're having this brief moment about like, oh, you know, come see me when you can and blah, 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 blah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Making plans that aren't going to happen.
Then, all of a sudden...
Harv's like, kiss your girl and let's haul ass.
Gives Harv's bailing as well.
And then Charlie comes back.
Charlie's back!
He like parachutes.
With the parachute still attached to him. And I've written in my notes, why would a spaceship have a parachute?
Well, this is true. But also it's like
so
how long has he been up there?
Parachute into space? Oh, he obviously got caught in a tree or some shit.
Probably. Because he's like, how the fuck do I get this off? Like, how do I take this off? Like, what's happening?
And then because the Ugg's there, we get this bad green screen effect of like the two Charlies together, like looking at each other, walking around.
Circle. It's kind of nice.
And then all of a sudden another spaceship rocks up.
Yeah.
So, you know, but obviously...
They had, like, Ugg and Charlie have this kind of, like, moment where he's like, yeah, I'm going to go.
Me now.
Like, you're going to stay. So, you know, this...
Well, he would have reported that he's already dead to the spaceship authorities.
Quite possibly, yeah.
That's what I thought. So he can't go with him now because he's theoretically dead.
Spaceship authorities. I love it.
Ugg gets beamed up, Star Trek style.
Yep, and Charlie is left behind.
Aww.
So then Megan and Brad finally kiss, and it's a little bit gay.
Yeah, and then he just basically leaves the instant he kisses, and then out of the blue, the sheriff flicks Charlie the sheriff badge, and Charlie becomes sheriff. Sure, why not?
Good for him.
I'm sure that's like how you become a sheriff.
In a town like that, yes.
So Charlie becomes the sheriff of the town. The end.
Yeah, we get that final pan over the idyllic, quiet American town rebuilding, and we get a thank you up on the screen. So thank you to all the people of Grover's Bend for allowing us to come in and ruin your town.
You can put green shit all over the wall. Get Dan McGuinness to come in and throw sour sobs everywhere.
I love it.
What are your final thoughts?
This movie was so much fun.
It's pretty good, isn't it? It's a higher... It's up there. It's in that high quality. Like, you know, you got... I reckon it's the second best Mini Monsters franchise.
Yep.
And it's a franchise.
It is a franchise with all them films. No, like I thought that the effects for the critters were good. I like the goop. I like the comedy in it for me. I liked the silliness of it.
Yeah, and it wasn't too silly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the bits happened because they didn't seem out of character for any of the characters. The Krites are funny. Yeah. They're cool. They're big mouths. They can rip people apart.
So none of the comedy was with the characters, the people. It was all with the critters, which I liked because I don't like to watch sort of like goofy people being goofy in movies like this. Like I like
the town dummy. Well, Charlie kind of was the town dummy, but he wasn't. He was like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't annoying or anything. They didn't linger on it. There was like the shots of the boobs, had the staple in the chest. That was funny.
Yeah.
Then equal amounts of critter carnage. There wasn't. My only criticism, one of the criticisms, is there wasn't much people carnage in this film.
No.
I think only like 3. I think the kill count is 6 people in the whole film.
Yeah.
Like it's not many. That's my only thing. They could have shown a couple. I think the montage of the critters going a bit crazy in the town, there should have been some more death scenes maybe in there. Maybe showing some critters like biting arms off or...
Yeah, that would have been good.
You know, some like, you know, random people don't matter. I mean, you got the one of the rolling over the bowl and the skeleton. They should have maybe done that a couple more times or just some different versions of it. Half run over someone so there's only half their body and stuff like that, you know.
Just a little bit more of that.
Yeah, run over a cow and it's just the cow skeleton standing there.
Yes, please.
Something like that, yeah.
That would have been great.
But yeah, I see like the second. So my understanding of mini monster films is number 1, I think Gremlins is the best. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Critters. Then we go into third 3 is the Ghoulies franchise. Then we're heading down to like maybe 4 is Troll.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're heading down to Munchies at number 5, and the rock bottom is Hobgoblin, which only actually got one film, so it's not really a franchise.
No.
I think it only got one film. But yeah, the critters look great. The puppets look great. They're fun. It made sense.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't. I think there was only like 1 or 2 scenes that were like that wasn't necessary. But that's just
it was only that kid scene.
That's just me nitpicking it because I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and I think there was like a bunch of moments where I was like, actually, because I sat at my computer, I watched it with my headphones on, and then like Liz is sitting there, and I'm just like chuckling away, and she's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Like, I think there were some missed opportunities in there for violence and gore. I think the Easter Bunny scene, it showed him on the ground with blood on him. They should have opened up his costume and it just been hollowed out.
That would have been even better.
Yeah, like stuff like that. They just kind of missed out on a couple of gore opportunities. But I think they were more going for the critter gore and,
Yeah.
They might have still been dabbling.
It's a safer rating as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Like, they might have been going for, like, the critter gore doesn't count as, like, gore because it's green. Right. The old Carmageddon green zombie blood thing. But yeah, lots of good critter carnage. What did you give it?
So I gave this as a B. It's a beer, and it's definitely a beer and chicken wing group movie.
Yep, I gave it that as well. But I also gave it a U. I reckon it's a bit underrated.
Yeah.
I don't reckon people talk about this as much. Everyone talks about Gremlins.
Yep.
But it's still just it's nearly equal with Gremlins, the critter. I mean, I haven't seen the other critters yet. Like,
no, not yet.
I'm gonna watch Critters Bounty Hunters because I reckon that will be
Let me know. I'm gonna watch Critters Attack.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it.
But there's one. I think it's either Critters 3 or 4. There's like one that's set in the city and they're in like a basement of a building. I remember that one, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the fun of like. I think the other ones go a bit serious. And
my only regret, because like I've seen Critters, but I've probably haven't seen Critters in about 25 years. So I kind of came into this going, I don't know what's going on right now.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
Hardly anything happens in it.
Fair enough.
As in like one of those old school. I don't know what year it came out, but like
it's like 86, I think.
There's a couple of like critter things, in that there's some like explosions and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty good.
I will watch
once again, it makes sense.
Yeah, I need to give it a rewatch, but yeah, I'm so busy this week that I've not had a chance to barely do anything. So one was enough.
What's our next spoil movie?
Dan, I've been having some urges lately.
Oh dear.
Some weird urges.
Have you been changing in ways that you can't explain?
No. But I've been feeling feelings that I never thought I'd feel. So I feel that we should watch Deathgasm.
Oh, I love that film.
Yes.
Yes.
Deathgasm.
Nice. I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
But don't worry, it's in the dictionary autocorrected for me.
So yeah, you guys, if you are getting to the end of this episode, we are going to watch Deathgasm next week. So do your fucking homework.
Yeah, it's in German, isn't it?
I think so.
Doesn't matter. This is a foreign film.
Mm-hmm.
This has some dicks in it. This is amazing, this film.
I'm just going to go through and be like, okay, which horror movies have the most dicks? And then we'll just do
Dickgasm.
We'll just do a compendium.
I wonder if there is like a movie about a killer dick, killer cock.
There's Killer Condom.
Killer Condom.
Yeah.
It's not as cool, though.
It's not, but yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you guys. You've been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer. We're available on all streaming services, including SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere good podcasts can be found. We're also available on the YouTubes, but no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a review, and make sure you share with all your friends. We also have an Instagram at TerrorVision Pod, and we'll keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and of course memes that are probably 3 years old by now. We also have an email, terrorvisionpod@gmail.com. Let us know what you want us to watch, discuss, or anything like that, and also follow us on Facebook. Our opening and closing music today is Void Swell by Sister Wife.
Ooh.
Oh.
And you can check out me at Greenlight Comics, 18 Stevens Place, just off Rundle Mall down the side of the Myer Centre. That's the comic shop in Adelaide. So if you're not in Adelaide, you can't do that.
You fucked it.
Yeah, I know.
You can go to their website and buy their stuff from their website.
Or check out greenlightcomics.com where we send all over Australia. And if you buy over a certain amount, whatever it is, it's free postage. So check that out. greenlightcomics.com.
Yes.
And remember.
You'll send a TerrorVision sticker.
I don't have any.
Fuck you. I'll give you some more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck you. What fuck? And until next week, may all your dreams be nightmares.